the next thing I would like to talk about is I tuned into the Tim Pool podcast, when I want to see another guy in a beanie talk about politics. And I don't wear this, by the way, because of Tim Pool. I used to wear my baseball cap, but this is just more comfortable. So I feel Tim on this level. He and I can maybe share a moment here. I love the beanie. It's very comfortable. And to be clear, the reason that I wear the beanie on camera is because if I don't, my bald head shines and the light reflects off of it, and the glimmer that you get from my bald head just obscures anything else I would be able to say. So that's why I do the broadcast in a hat, because I look ridiculous without it. Not that I look ridiculous in normal life, that I look fine, but when I've got these bright lights shining off my white bald head, it becomes a distraction, and it's just not. I'm trying to do aesthetically pleasing things here for you guys. I want you to be able to see things as beautifully as I do, right? So anyway, moving on here, I like to watch Tim Pool, and I like to watch Tim Pool because he has a lot of interesting guests who I would not probably otherwise pay attention to. Matt Gaetz being the number one. I love Matt Gaetz now, thanks to Tim Pool's podcast, and I don't necessarily agree with everything the guy says, and Tim Pool definitely has some takes that make me go, okay, whatever, dude. His recent Antifa hysteria, and it's probably not recent either. He's always been hysterical about Antifa because people who dressed as Antifa attacked him in Portland or whatever. So I get it, Tim. You're pissed about Antifa, but the reason I'm bringing up Tim Pool is I wanted you to see what Steve Bannon said on his podcast, because it really stuck out to me, so much so that I tweeted it out and got a lot of shit for it. But listen to this.
With ads dropping the way they are this time of year, it feels like it's going to be a summer of very, very dark financial days. Now we're seeing this. Look, I don't want to say something that could precipitate it by encouraging people to panic or anything like that. I'm just saying, I agree with you that the world is, the neocon system is breaking apart. That means the night is always darkest before the dawn. I tell people to get some chickens and get some emergency food and learn how to take care of themselves.
I tell people, first thing is when a guy, look, this is madness. The economic system we have today is madness. When Biden sits there, as when you look at the depression of working class people in this country, and they come up this week, everything we've been talking about, and they come up with a $6.8 trillion budget. Not one cut to one program. In fact, the rate of increase, I think, is almost 6%. A 5.2% pay increase for federal employees. And across the board, they have at their own calculation what $1.5 trillion deficits as far as the aggregate go. The $3 trillion taxes, which my recommendation is the House should meet tomorrow and Saturday. The Republicans, they should pass every tax increase. They've got all of them. Send it to the Schumer and the Democrats and dare them to pass it. You're going to see what phonies they are, because it's all their donors. All the big hedge fund guys are their donors. All the billionaires are their donors. Those billionaires hate MAGA. Right? Yeah. And by the way, Schumer had the guts to do it, which you wouldn't do it. Biden would veto it because it's all his sponsors.
It's all in on the foreign wealth tax.
I'm actually for I'm for repatriation. No, I'm for more than the wealth tax. When you have one
the wealth tax,
I'm more than that. Now I want the repatriation. Look, when you have 1% of the people, citizens, own more assets than the bottom 90. That system can't sustain itself.
Agreed.
If the revolutionary generation came back, they would spit on the floor. They fought a revolution to get away from a landed aristocracy and the mercantilist system of the monopolies of the British East India Company and others like it. That's why John Adams and Sam Adams and Hancock were smugglers. The rest were smart lawyers. They said, we want our own deal. We're not going to do that. If they came back and said, you guys allowed this to devolve into an oligarchy? Are you kidding me? We're 1% of the people? This is exactly what they fought the revolution for.
I feel like Bravo, Steve Bannon. He sounds like Bernie Sanders there to some degree. And, he opened with some stuff about cutting programs. Yeah, the programs that need to be cut are the military. You don't need to be cutting food stamps. You don't need to be cutting things that actually help people. Daycare for kids, food, school lunches. What, as Bannon said right here, it's tilted way too far in the wrong direction, and it needs to be tilted back. And I applaud him for saying that, because he's right. And so let's listen. Matt Gaetz interjects something.
But there was a belief in the elites. even among the revolutionaries.
Yes.
But there was a sense of duty
Yes.
that was expected of the elites. And
So what he's saying is, to some degree, Steve, but also the elites were the ones who set the government up, which is true. And what Gates is saying, though, even those elites at that time had a love enough for their country that they wouldn't have let it get to the point that it's at now, where it's completely going to be ruined. It's ruinous.
And that's what we lack today. And I don't know how you reignite that sense of patriotism.
I feel like
I think the way you do it is what you guys did in the first week of January.
Except
But even that, when you had everybody in conservative media against you, when you had Fox News against you, we had, it's unity and you guys are terrible guys. And I got to tell you, we came that close on that Friday night at 10 o'clock to total victory, right? It was hung in the balance. So I think people get patriotic when they see that, when they see action. They love their country. Go out in the hinterland. In your constituents, they're so far ahead of where we are. And it's not stupid. They understand the details. They understand what's going on because of shows like Tim Pool and so many other podcasts out there that get the information out to people, and they're hungry for information. They will immerse themselves. If you put up different links to go to, they will start. I give homework assignments over the weekend.
Yo, I've seen that.